All right. Good morning. It's March 12th. It's Thursday, March 12th. Getting back into the Book of Mormon this morning. See this chapter. Okay, we're on chapter 12 of 2nd Nephi. This is the words of Isaiah once again. I believe this is back. It's back to Nephi, who is speaking. 2nd Nephi, chapter 12. Okay, let's get into it. Isaiah sees the latter-day temple, gathering of Israel, and millennial judgment and peace. The proud and the wicked will be brought low at the second coming. Compare Isaiah 2, about 559 to 545 BC. The word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days, when the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, which is today, that has been done, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow into it. And many people shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. O house of Jacob, come ye and let us walk in the light of the Lord. Yea, come, for ye have all gone astray, every one to his wicked ways. Therefore, O Lord, thou hast forsaken thy people, the house of Jacob, because they be replenished from the east, and hearken unto soothsayers like the Philistines, and they please themselves in the children of strangers. Their land also is full of silver and gold, neither is there any end of their treasures. Their land is also full of horses, neither is there any end of their chariots. I think he foresaw our cars. So he's talking about neither is there any end. So there's tons of cars. And their land is also full of idols. They worship the work of their own hands, that which their own fingers have made. And the mean man boweth not down, and the great man humbleth himself not. Therefore forgive him not. O ye wicked ones, enter into the rock, and hide thee in the dust. For the fear of the Lord and the glory of his majesty shall smite thee. And it shall come to pass that the lofty looks of man shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. For the day of the Lord of hosts soon cometh upon all nations, yea, upon every one, yea, upon the proud and lofty, and upon every one who is lifted up, and he shall be brought low. Yea, and the day of the Lord shall come upon all the cedars of Lebanon, for they are high and lifted up, and upon all the oaks of Bashan, and upon all the high mountains, and upon all the hills, and upon all the nations which are lifted up, and upon every people, and upon every high tower, and upon every fenced wall, and upon all the ships of the sea, and upon all the ships of Tarshish, and upon all pleasant pictures. And the loftiness of man shall be bowed down, and the haughtiness of man shall be made low, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. And the idols he shall utterly abolish. And they shall go into the holes of the rocks, into the caves of the earth, for the fear of the Lord shall come upon them, and the glory of his majesty shall smite them, when he ariseth to shake terribly the earth. In that day a man shall cast his idols of silver and his idols of gold, and he hath made for himself to worship, to the moles and to the bats, to go into the clefts of the rock and into the tops of the ragged rocks. For the fear of the Lord shall come upon them, and the majesty of his glory shall smite them when he ariseth. Excuse me. When he ariseth to shake terribly the earth. Cease ye from man, whose breath in his nostrils, for wherein has he to be accounted of. That was kind of a hard chapter to understand. Let's go ahead and read chapter 13 too. Judah and Jerusalem will be punished for their disobedience. The Lord pleads for and judges his people. The daughters of Zion are cursed and tormented for their worldliness. Compare Isaiah 3, about 559 to 545 BC. For behold, the Lord, the Lord of hosts, doth take away from Jerusalem and from Judah, and stay the staff, the whole staff of bread, and the whole stay of water, the mighty man and the man of war, the judge and the prophet, and the prudent and the ancient, the captain of 50. This is interesting. When Nephi was talking to his brothers about Laban, that we will go and do the things he talked about. He commanded 50 about Laban. It's interesting the words that he uses. Right here again it says in Isaiah, the captain of 50, and the honorable man, and the counselor, and the cunning artificer, and the eloquent orator. And I will give children unto them to be their princes, and babes shall rule over them. And the people shall be oppressed, every one by another, and every one by his neighbor. The child shall behave himself proudly against the ancient, and the base against the honorable. When a man shall take hold of his brother of the house of his father, and shall say, Thou hast clothing, be thou our ruler, and let not this ruin come upon thy under thy hand. In that day shall he swear, saying, I will not be a healer, for in my house there is neither bread nor clothing. Make me not a ruler of the people. For Jerusalem is ruined, and Judah is fallen, because their tongues and their doings have been against the Lord, to provoke the eyes of his glory. The show of their countenance doth witness against them, and doth declare their sin to be even as Sodom, and they cannot hide it. Woe unto their souls, for they have rewarded evil unto themselves. They have rewarded. Say unto the righteous that it is well with them, for they shall eat the fruit of their doings. Woe unto the wicked, for they shall perish, for the rewards of their hands shall be upon them. My people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they who lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the ways of thy path. The Lord standeth up to plead, and standeth to judge the people. The Lord will enter into judgment, and the ancient of his people, and the princes thereof. For ye have eaten up the vineyard, and the spoils of the poor in your houses. What mean ye? Ye beat my people to pieces, and grind the faces of the poor, saith the Lord of hosts. Moreover, the Lord saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty, and walk with stretched forth necks, and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. Therefore the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and the Lord will discover their secret parts. In that day the Lord will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments, and calls and round tires like the moon. The chains and the bracelets and the mufflers, the bonnets and the ornaments of the legs, and the headbands and the tablets, and the earrings, the rings and nose jewels, the changeable suits of apparel, and the mantles and the wimples and the crisping pins, the glasses and the fine linen, and hoods and the veils. And it shall come to pass, instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink, and instead of a girdle, a rent, and instead of well-set hair, baldness, and instead of a stomacher, a girding of sackcloth, burning instead of beauty. Thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war, and her gates shall lament and mourn, and shall be desolate, and shall sit upon the ground. That's some pretty dire stuff. Looks like the rest of these chapters are Isaiah. Alright, tomorrow's Friday. We'll get into, we read 2 chapters this morning. Maybe we'll do 14 and 15 because 14 is short. But Isaiah is just prophesying about the last days in which we live. I thought one thing that was interesting was talking about our idols and our chariots, all the cars, all the unlimited cars in which he saw. But there's a lot of desolation, and that was pretty interesting. I thought that was interesting as well. The words of Nephi when talking about Laban. Then we read the words of Isaiah, the captain of 50. Nephi is a product of the things in which he consumes and reads. He's reading the scriptures and he speaks like the scriptures. And then the interesting thing about women and all of their ornaments and tinklings and crisping pins and their hair, there'll be a scab and baldness, and the men shall fall by the sword and war. Lots of things that we can see going on today. Anyways, we'll leave it there. Okay, guys, remember, read your scriptures, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow.